So it was like a little trip where we got our healthy food sponsored, not sponsored by, yeah.
Yeah, Burger King, if you are listening, since you are international, we are accepting sponsorships.
Also, we walked away from Krusty Kremes. Krusty Kremes? Krusty Kremes. That's not so. That sounds like a dodgy porn.
Krusty Kremes. That's nasty. Oh. No, isn't Krusty Krab, right?
Krusty Krab. What's the donuts? Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. Yeah.
Krispy Kreme. Crusty.
Sketchy porn. That's disgusting.
Welcome back to the best thing you watched this week. We've started off on a doozy. Okay. I'm gonna zone into the straightness. Okay. Welcome back to the best thing you watched this week. You got Chris from Movies and Munchies, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. You can find our faces and our beards on YouTube with our YouTube channels where we review movies, TVs, and we have our genres that we try to stick to. Also, on the best thing we watched this week, we do a podcast that kind of runs in tandem with this. We release on the same day, Sunday mornings. And then for the podcast section, wherever you listen to podcasts, we give you an extra movie review, normally one that we haven't seen or one we haven't seen in years, and then we talk about it. So that's a special little bit just for the audio with entertainment news and what we're looking forward to. So if you want the whole lot, check out us and do kind of have a look at the backlog. We've got so much on there now, which is great. We're in our third season of doing the best thing we watched, and then the bearded ones, for those that really love our beardy faces and want to know more about our lives, more a little bit of sketches, things that we get up to when we've met up to together, exclusive reviews and TV series. There's a tier list on the Patreon that we have. So much to say at the beginning. I think that's about all of it. While I burp my Burger King juice, excuse me, I apologize. How rude.
Well, you said Burger King juice.
Burger King juice.
That brings up so many different visuals that I'm not sure I want to even have you elaborate, but yet I do.
But also, I'm drinking tea at the same time, so. Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I have, because it's a little different time zone in where I'm at, I'm having my giant mug of coffee. I bought a 25-ounce mug this week because I just needed more of this goodness in my life.
You needed some zing.
Yes,
Zing.
Exactly.
What is that animated film where the father goes zing and he's a bat? He's a vampire.
Oh, is that Hotel Transylvania?
Yes, love that. Yeah. Hotel Transylvania. Zing. Did you zing? You zinged? Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Movie quote quiz. Did anybody win last week, Chris?
Yes. I may get to do it again for one more week at least. We had Tara Briscoe, who got all three correct. So congratulations. Good job.
Hey.
Yeah. So they the answers, the words are just like not in my head. I don't know what's going on. The answers are Super Troopers, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yep.
And then The Proposal.
That's what it was. Oh, that was bugging me. It's one of your favorites. I should have known as well. Huh.
Yeah. Well, and I knew you knew it. I mean, that was the thing. I knew you knew it. It was just
recently as well.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch it. I may have to just pop it in this week just to enjoy that, because it's just the snarky, funny, and
Sandra Bullock one as well with Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. It's the naked scene that gets me. It cracks me up every time.
Oh my gosh! Why are you wet? Why are you naked?
So good.
Oh, funny. Okay, so I got three more for you this week. Let us know in the comments. Just give us your answers. We'll give you the shout out. Okay. First one. You fake a stomach cramp, and when you're bent over, moaning and wailing, you lick your palms. It's a little childish and stupid, but then again, so is high school.
Oh, this one as well. Oh
Oh,
my
you
gosh,
totally know this one.
that has got my brain going through the catalog. Ding. Yeah. Okay.
Very quotable movie. Yes. Yes. Okay. Next one. I don't care about your exotic milk. I care about respect.
Okay. Nice.
I could do the
Nice.
That's a disgusting
For
visual.
the
But
audio, he was sticking his tongue out the side of his mouth and licking in a really odd way. Yeah.
okay. So the next one, the last one, is a line back and forth between two people.
Okay.
Okay. Easy way to remember: blue is glue, and when it's red, dead. You totally know this one.
Okay. That is... Oh, man. Again, all of these I know. And my brain is like, you know this. And then it was like, yeah, what's it called? I don't know. Why are you asking me?
Isn't that the most frustrating way to do it?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, again, let us know. Give the answers next week. We'll give you a shout out. Now, though, Ruben, do you have a question for us?
Yes. If you could be a real life Dungeons and Dragons character, as in you had to go to work as this character, you have one power and one outfit, what would you be?
Oh, gosh. Can it be anybody? Like, I mean, any type of character within?
Anything. Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons is...
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a bartender.
Nice.
And my outfit would be rather comfortable, but I would still have a little bit of chainmail at the top there, you know, a light coating just to in case things get rowdy. I think, you know, but otherwise it would be in my whatever the standard pants are. Some comfy shoes, maybe slip-ons, so that I could, you know, step out of them, and I would have like a pair of slippers next to it also, just to, you know, realistically, my shirt, while I would have chainmail underneath it, would be some sort of tartan, so that it, you know, and made out of a soft, fluffy cotton type, so that it resembles a flannel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm going to be very inappropriate with mine, just so people are really uncomfortable.
Okay.
I think it'll be really funny and it'll make me laugh. So, you know those outfits, like the bondage outfits from Dodgeball? They get their own costumes. So I'm going to be a bard that can't sing and can't really play and have one of those outfits. But my actual job is like a financer for like a top company. So I just walk in and like we're at the board meeting. I'm there in my bondage outfit with my banjo, not even banjo. What do you call them? Similar
Leer?
to banjo. Yeah, a leer.
Like a
Yeah. And then, you know, toss a coin to my Witcher and off I go.
As you sing about whatever the board meeting is going on, right?
Yeah. Today's meeting. Yeah.
Love it. I just want to sit there. I just want to watch. Okay. Nobody else gets to know what's going on either.
They were like, this is normal, right?
Yes. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
let us know your characters in the real world that you would do. Fun.
Oh, goodness. Fun. All right. Should we dive into the best things that we watched this week?
For sure.
Cool. Mine was a week. I don't know about you.
See, there was so much I was supposed to watch, and there was stuff that I started, but I'd never finished. I didn't review, and I don't know that I could even talk about. The stuff I was surprised by, like I thought I was going to love the astronauts thing that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But the first episode was weird. It started off really great, and then it jumped back in time, and then there was like 3 different sex scenes, and I thought, I don't mind sex scenes, but it was really full on. And then I thought it was going to be more sci-fi, It could still be, but I was just like, I switched off. There was lots of stuff like that. But I do have some best things we watched. Okay. Would you like to start?
Sure. The first one did not get a good rating from me at all.
So why is it in your...
it got one of the lowest ratings, at least of this year. And this goes to show how enjoyment and ratings don't always line up. Because as we do for reviewers, I mean, we have to give like the objective type of, the feedback on there, right? But just like I could watch a movie that's not perfect and I can give it a 5 out of 5 because of how much enjoyment I had. But there typically has to be like a lot of redeeming stuff within the movie to bump it up to that point, and I'm just overlooking minor things here or there, whatever.
Yeah.
This one, not that way. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is, by all accounts, a terrible movie. I mean, it is abysmal. There's literally no ending to the movie. It just stops. You don't care about any of the characters. There's no reason to care about them. We get backstory on one character, and I think it's literally only to, this huge backstory serves as a MacGuffin to give us a reason that this person has an item.
All right.
It goes nowhere. All the characters are interchangeable. The digital blood that is applied to the kills is pretty terrible. The practical effects are impressive. I like that. I like some of the prosthetics that they use, especially on Winnie the Pooh's head, because his ear will twitch, his mouth will move a little bit, and that's kind of creepy. The reason this is on the best thing I watched this week is because it was a collective watching experience in the theater. Now, most of my family went.
Changes things, doesn't it?
Totally. I mean, we knew, everybody going in, I think, well, the people that were responding the way we were responding, I mean, they knew what they were in for, right? We went in expecting a terrible movie, and we were given that. And it was unexpectedly so funny because of how ridiculous and dumb and absurd a lot of the things were. And it's not taken like to the absurd level. It's just you watch this almost incredulously going, oh my gosh, that what? Why are you doing that? And as a I mean, like no joke, it was a blast. Like I had so much fun watching this. I mean, it cost me $60 before snacks to just buy the tickets. I skipped out on my Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania screening to see, like, so I made sacrifices to go and sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And we're laughing out loud through so much of this. I mean, it's just like, it shouldn't work. And now, and I see all these reviews where it's getting, I mean, it's like, I think at 6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So that's fitting, but people are upset. Like a lot of reviewers I've seen are upset by the movie, and I'm like, I don't understand that at all. How did you not know what
Austin and Cody, they were really visibly upset by the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. And actually I had a better time than I thought I might have. I was worried that maybe it's just going to be stupid and it's not going to, not cause any enjoyment. But no, it was stupid and I had a blast. So, I mean, like I said in my review, if you were watching this by yourself, I don't think this would be a good time at all. Because you're not sharing that. You know what I mean? When you see some character say the absolutely stupidest line ever, like by yourself, you might go, why am I watching this? But when you have 3 other people and they all go, oh my gosh, I can't believe how stupid that person is.
Yeah.
It changes that whole
feeling.
The
shared experience is a big thing, especially for movies like that. Like, I can't watch Sharknado by myself, but if I watch it with my son and we crack up laughing the whole way through because of how stupid it is, that shared experience makes the film good. it sits in the good memory, even though I know it's a shit film.
Well, going back to the movie quotes from last week, the first time I watched Super Troopers, I barely laughed. And then I watched it again because my friend was like, dude, let's watch this. You need to see this. And I'm like, I already saw it. And I didn't really enjoy it. And he was like, no, let's just watch it again. And that then made me love the movie. I mean, you're right. It made me not necessarily love the movie, but the memory of it, the laughter that we shared because it was, you know. So
Cody, what's his name? Cody Lynch?
Cody Leach.
Cody Leach, yeah. So his cinema experience was everybody was deadpan in the cinema. Nobody laughed. Nobody got it. So I imagine if you're sitting there as a reviewer wondering why you've paid for this movie and nobody's enjoying it, then that changes the experience again. However, if you're in a cinema full of people that have gone there knowing how stupid the film's going to be, not expecting art, because I don't know why you would go into this film expecting that. You know, my expectation level would totally be Sharknado, you know, if not worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go in there and that's what you get. You're like, this is stupid. I do want the thread that keeps coming back where people are saying it's taking itself seriously. That worries me because this type of film, you can't, as a filmmaker, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I think the actors definitely did. Like, I don't know that half the time that they know the type of movie they're in, because it's I mean, literally, okay, so there's one, and it's shown in the trailer, it's shown in stills and everything, but there's the characters come back into this house that they're staying at, and across the windows in blood is written, "Get out." Okay. Now, they have just witnessed the carnage of a friend dying. Now, they didn't watch the friend die, but they've seen the aftermath.
Yeah.
And one of the lines is, "I think whoever wrote this did that." Well, that's probably a good guess.
Wow.
Right? It just, yeah. Those are the type, the one that's shown in the trailer also with the girl in the bikini in the hot tub. I mean, that is an extended scene, and it is just, it's so ridiculous and stupid, and you root for Pooh and a Piglet. Because
I think that's probably what I'll do during the film when I get to see it, is root for Pooh and Piglet.
Yeah, it's, because, like, there's, I don't know. I can understand why people might be upset if they go in with an expectation or something like that, you know. This, though, I mean, come on. They took a series that I absolutely love. I am a monster-sized Winnie the Pooh fan. The novels, call them novels, the stories from A.A. Milne, and they're genius. I mean, they're so stinking funny, especially as an adult. Yeah. And I'm not upset by this. This is not, because this isn't damaging my memory of Winnie the Pooh and his friends. I mean, I was more bummed that we hear mention at the very beginning of like Owl and Rabbit, and we never see them. So I'm holding out hope. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. So
for Blood and Honey 2, the Requiem, the Reckoning, Resistance is futile, coming soon.
That was perfect. Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to see this, like, don't go in with any other aspect of thought or just any expectation other than, I hope I can laugh with my friends at this. You know?
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
And yeah. So it was so truly, even though it's like one of the worst movies I've seen in quite a while, it's actually, I mean, it was like this bubbled up to the top of everything that I watched this week because of how much fun I had.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense. I really want to make a short film of Pooh who is trying to find Christopher Robin, and he's got a little bit of like dementia, and he doesn't know if you're Christopher Robin or not, so he just goes around from person to person and then gets upset and kills you. So it's like a slasher horror. So, are you Christopher Robin? You're not Christopher Robin. And he just goes around killing.
That's
Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin. Are you here, Christopher Robin? I think I should make it. It'd be great.
I think you should too. I will watch.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
well,
cool.
I'm glad you had a good experience with that.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, my whole family. Like we laughed and we talked afterwards about it, still laughing and ready for the next one. And we knew that that Peter Pan was going to be one that the director was going to. Yeah. I heard Bambi. I was not aware of that one at first. And
always said that was horror.
Well, that was already a horror, right? I mean, that's a terrible, and then right before we saw the movie, I saw an announcement on Twitter that Winnie the Pooh 2, Blood and Honey 2 was coming. And I'm like, dude, I'm so there. Take all my monies.
A new franchise is born. All right.
Exactly. Oh, all right.
Awesome.
What's on your list?
Okay, so the top of the thing is not actually a film, but it's a thing that I played too much this week that I had dreams of. That's how much I played. Hogwarts Legacy is a game I did not expect to enjoy or be as good as it is. Simon Pegg voices the Professor Finis Nigellus Black, who's the headmaster. It's set before Beasts, so it's like set way before. But there are connections and family members and names like great-great-grandparents or teachers of. What it manages to do is take everything that you know and expand on the lore. So it doesn't take anything away, but rather builds on it. And it's stuff that you didn't think you wanted to know, but when you found out, you're like, fantastic. And then you get to do everything. The enjoyment you get out of watching Harry Potter every year, the movies. If you're one of those, when it comes to Christmas, there's one of those films or series of films that you like to watch. You get to do all that stuff, like the broom, saying up, going to the classes and then learning how to fly. And then you get to fly around Hogwarts and it's a fairly big map. Without doing spoilers, there's other creatures that you may get to be on, which I was just like huge beaming smile when it happened. I was like, dude. You also get to be the Dark Wizard if you want. Kavada is there, so you can experience what it's like. And there's a really great storyline and justification for going that way, which makes it even harder not to choose that, because you're helping a friend trying to find something for a family member that could save their life. So that's all I'm going to do with that sort of storyline. And then there's a whole war that's going on with the goblins, and that's kind of the main arc, and you are at the center of it. So it's like you're like the Harry Potter characters. So you got a great story, and then you have a ridiculous amount of puzzles across the whole land. One of my favorites, there's Merlin puzzles. So Merlin isn't just a thing. Apparently Merlin was part of the lore, a big wizard in the history of stuff. And so there's these puzzles that practical stuff, so you complete so many Merlin whistles. Wow.
It's a wizard puzzle.
It's a whistle. Okay, a Merlin whistle. You complete so many, you expand your inventory for space to collect stuff. So there's practical stuff, but also you're expanding stuff. The Dark Woods. What are they called?
Is it Forbidden Woods?
The Forbidden Forest.
There you go.
Forbidden Forest. Yeah. And going fighting giant spiders. Everything that you had in the movie is there. So you get to experience, you get to be in it. The only negativity I would say that it didn't quite get right is that they haven't quite gotten the feeling like you're part of a group. It's really your adventure. So you go and help somebody do a quest line, another character, an NPC, and then you're kind of on your own. You have a professor that's with you because you are special in some way, again, without doing spoilers. And he kind of is there with you on your adventure in some of it. But really, it's you exploring. I think I would have liked it more if there were a couple of, maybe an extra person that was with you all the time. Like the Star Wars games, the new one we just had, where you have like an android on the shoulder. If they'd done something like that, even an owl, or maybe a goblin yourself, or Dobby, Deke is a character that you get in this. He's a great character. I would have liked him around with you all the time. I think they could have tweaked it like that. But that's my only negativity. It's fantastic, immersive, great storytelling, great voice acting, and it's It's pretty much not broken. There's a couple of glitches, but nothing game breaking. I have 2 top tips. There's 2 collectibles, one with the keys. Go and collect all the keys. You know those flying keys that you in the part one of the films? Yeah, you have to. There's a mission. You have to go and collect all the keys. Do that. It'll get you the coolest outfit if you sort that out. And then there's these weird glowy collectible things. You'll know it when the guy teaches you Alohomora. It's to unlock 1 level of opening the locks. There's 3 levels, Alohomora 2 and 3. Do all those first so you can unlock all the doors as you're traveling around the map. That really helps you out. So you can tell I've played this a lot because I know stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun with this game.
That's all. And you're playing it on PS5, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Is so there isn't a co-op mode where you could
unfortunately
join up
not.
with friends?
No,
okay.
There isn't. This particular master has also said, headmaster has said that there's no Quidditch, which I was disappointed by. But you do get to go and do like races on your broom.
Okay.
So that's fun. There's collectibles to do in the sky, like popping balloons, and you get to fly around the Quidditch, like the actual auditorium. The stadium is there. I guess they just didn't know how to incorporate that yet. It would be a great multiplayer game that they could, some games have a storyline, and then they do a multiplayer thing. That would be awesome. I imagine if they figure that out, that would do really well.
Where you could have like a co-op online type of thing and either play with your friends or play with strangers or whatever.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I saw some very early gameplay, and it probably resembles what I would do. Is I just saw this person flying around wherever, I don't even know where it was, and just wanding out and just destroying everything in the path. That's all it was. It was just flying around destroying stuff. And I'm like, that looks like fun. That's
I didn't even talk about the fighting. It's done really well.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like you're in those fights. When you have a bunch of dark wizards come at you and they're all flying those curses at you, and you're like, if you block at the right time, it feels like your controller, because it's got haptic feedback, it feels like you've blocked something. And especially in the harder levels, it doesn't quite warn you, so you know how you have to be on the nose at blocking them, and then does like your curses or your spells that you learn further on. You have a combination of plants that you can use as well. So Tactacular, the Venus flytrap plant, or what's the one where you pull out of the ground?
The mandrakes.
The mandrakes. That you use them as weapons.
Nice.
So it incorporates everything Harry Potter in your fighting style. You have invisibility potions, that kind of stuff that really helps you. Focus potions. Yeah, it's really taken that world. I was worried it was going to be a cash grab. It's the Harry Potter name, it could look like a mobile game, but no, it's a damn good game.
Is the Whomping Willow in this?
I think so. Probably. I just haven't explored enough. There's so much to see. The bridge is there, the one that gets destroyed. I haven't found it yet, but apparently you can go into, what's the second film?
Into Hogsmeade?
Oh no, Hogsmeade's a massive, it's totally explorable. But the second film, flipping heck.
In the down in the in the tunnels and stuff underneath.
Because Hogwarts is so much bigger. Like, you don't get how big it is. You will spend hours and hours in there. It's got like caves underneath and loads of like missions and stuff. So, dude, if you have a PC or a PS5, buy the game. You'll enjoy it. Yeah.
My youngest son has he got it. He got the deluxe edition. He was like chomping at the bit, and it delivered on the day that it released, and he was like, yes. Nice. And then we didn't see him.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. That's fun. Right on.
Nice.
All right. Next on my list, I don't know if you got a chance to see this or not, but it's a Korean thriller that came out on Netflix called Unlocked. Did you get a chance to watch?
I saw the first 45 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. This it's the premise is a girl who's very connected to her phone, like all of us are pretty much.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very relatable that way. Well, she loses her phone, and a not nice person picks it up, hacks it, and then causes havoc within her life. There's not a mystery angle to this very much, because we get to see who it is, who the perpetrator is, very, very early on. So that's not obscured for us. Now, for the characters, it is. But it's more about, it's about the pursuit and about the chase, because not only do we have this interaction between this creeper and this girl, but there's also a murder mystery that's happening on the periphery with this detective. And while I think some of the things could be explored a little bit more, especially with some of the relationships or anything else, it was a tense ride. Like, it was because we know what what this person is capable of and what they're doing. It makes all of the interactions more like, oh gosh, that's creepy. That just, and you begin to feel some urgency as things happen, especially as his havoc in her life is causing her isolation, and which is it's a good way to be able to do that. You know what I mean? When a character can slowly push everybody else away from a person, but that person not realize that it's them doing it. Yeah. And knowing something's not right and knowing that this shouldn't be happening, but doesn't know how to how to rectify it or anything else. So it is a good. I don't think I would watch it again. I don't think it's a it has a high rewatchability, but it is great for a one-time watch, because if you need something that has some really good acting, especially because you have some charismatic people who can also be very creepy looking, like not as in makeup or anything else, but just the look in their eyes, just the way that they hold themselves, or they'll flip that switch, and all of a sudden they go from being very just charismatic and nice to being like terrifying, because they're turned off whatever emotion they had, and they've just become cold and empty. Excuse me. So it's fairly, it's almost 2 hours, but I didn't notice the time in it, so that was nice. It moved along really quickly. So if you like, or if you're looking for a new thriller, and you don't mind subtitles, I didn't check out the dub because no, but if if you don't mind subtitles, then this is good, and it's exciting for the one-time watch, especially because just everything clicks so well, even though there are some shortcomings here and there for it. So, yeah.
Okay. I guess I wasn't in the mood for it when I first started watching it. Like, all the tenseness was there. It was well put together. I think I was reading too much and it was tiring me out. It was dialogue heavy. I remember that. And I was like, yeah, I need to be in the right headspace for this, because I'm not watching the dub, that's for sure. So I'll have to come back to it.
Yeah, and the beginning is very frenetic. The beginning of the movie is like very hectic, and I'm like, oh gosh, and they use because you get sometimes the perspective of like the person holding the phone. Yeah,
because he's taking control of it, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a little, like, I'm not always a fan of that perspective, just because it's weird. I mean, it works and stuff, but even at the beginning of the film, you're like, oh, I hope the whole thing is not like this, because I'm not going to do well with this. Yeah. But it goes to to illustrate how connected and dependent on her phone the main character is. That it's just literally every part of her life. So, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, you watched the South Korean film. I watched the Japanese one that Netflix put out called Remember.
Oh, yeah.
Or Remember. There's a high school student and her friends are trapped in a time loop by a ghost, and the only way to escape is to find the corpse of the ghost's previous victim. I'm not sure that's actually a correct synopsis. You have to find body parts in this place. Every time the clock hits 12, that's when the hunt begins. And you have to survive the hunt and find the body parts and put it in some way specific, and then you die. You wake up the next day. The body part that you found stays, and that's kind of the loop. So it's like Groundhog's Day meets Happy Death Day, but with Japanese culture, which kind of had me. I was like, yeah, I'm there for it. It is based on a webtoon, like a comic, but an online comic. And I hear that the online comic is much better, and that doesn't surprise me. That's always like normally the case, that the original writing is fine. But having no idea or not read the works, I came of this as like this was a fresh perspective of a genre that we've seen lots of. Now, at the beginning, you tend to not like some of the characters. You like maybe the one main character. And then as time goes by, they form almost like this group of like the Breakfast Club, sort of. They get to know each other really well. In fact, the pacing of this film is so weird. At one stage, they go from being hunted, and then the next day they're going on to the beach to hang out together on the beach. Because I guess they thought that they had all the time in the world because they're just going to die every night. So as they are repeating, they can eat whatever they want, that kind of stuff. All these girls are like so super thin and stuff and trying to look perfect, worried about calories, that kind of stuff. Here, like, they have the perfect opportunity to eat whatever they want, do whatever they want, because there's no repercussions.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and you're going to die horrifically anyway that night. So there's that type of story in it. But where the story works best is when you get to that midnight stuff, and that's when it gets creepy, because the actual entity that hunts them, dude, you've seen contortions before from like Ring, it's like that, but done in a really, I'm not going to show you it sort of thing, only when necessary. And so less is more is used. But you do get to see how they die a lot of the times, and there's a few montages because they die so many times in various ways, and sometimes they don't shy away from the blood or the guts of what they're showing. So I was impressed with that. I was like, fair play, that's great. The last 20 minutes of the film, definitely worth watching, because they go from the creature thing to creature feature. And I was just like, it's a bit stupid, but I love it, sort of thing. And that was great. I was a little bit frustrated at some of the character motivations in the moment of danger. It's that kind of classic thing when someone's dying and then you take time to like, I can't believe it, I'm so sorry, let me stay with you. Instead of doing the thing that's going to save you all, take the body part or go and rescue that person that needs rescuing, rather than having this conversation right now. Right now? You want to do that now? You see the monster, right? So that happens a few times. I was just like, just die. Like, you deserve to die, because...
The sympathy is gone at this point because you were dumb.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought the scares was there. They built up the characters, the monster, creature features, prosthetic makeup. Like you were saying, good one-time watch.
And it's a movie, right? Not a series?
It's a movie, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I remember you talking about it, and then it popped up on my list, and...
the week of so much, yeah.
The week of so much, yeah, you're absolutely right. And this sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Even if it is a little stupid, as illustrated by Winnie the Pooh, I'm totally there if I can have fun. So
nice.
Thanks. All right, my next one, my last one, is not really it's not the best thing I watched. I'm going to use this more as a PSA, as a public service announcement as a warning, cautionary tale. It hit Hulu this week. It also hit Fox. You know what a huge fan of American television I am.
Yeah, you're a massive fan.
Yeah, this reinforces exactly why I don't watch American television.
Oh no, this is like an award. Do you want the Oscar?
Yes, for wasting my time. No. So there's this new series called Animal Control. And it's on Fox. Joel McHale from Community is the star.
Oh yeah.
You know, he gets to be his sarcastic self in there, which is okay. The filming style of this is I think kind of like Parks and Rec. I think it's less Office and more Parks and Rec. And you follow basically this group of animal control people as they go about their day, and they, their interactions within the office and everything. It is the pilot episode, so I know that it could get better. No. It was abysmal. It was unfunny. There was one point that I laughed, and it was a non-repeating character who just had one line that it was more silly than anything, and it was unexpected, and that was it. She was an ostrich farmer, and she got a fine, and she's like, "Can I pay you in eggs?" And the way that she said it made me chuckle.
Okay.
There you go. That was it. I mean, the rest of it, it was too forced. It was exactly what you would expect from an American sitcom. Now, if you're looking for that, I understand that sometimes we get in those moods where I just want something stupid and light, and I can just check out completely and, have that on. Fine. But it's not funny. That's the downside. It just wasn't good. So I think if you want something like that, put on Dairy Girls, or put on something that actually is witty and really funny versus this. So don't waste your time. It is short. I mean, that's the one thing it has going for it, because it's probably like 26 minutes, 24 minutes, something like that, because of the commercials. But no.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give that a miss then.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now for something good.
Good.
Aggretsuko, season 5, the final season. Mm-hmm. It's one of the main characters. You have two main characters. Haida, who is, I was going to say dude, but none of the characters are human. I think it's a wolf. Haida. Everybody's going to hate me now. You don't even know who the main character is. Okay, so if you know it, frustrated with her thankless office job, the 25-year-old red panda copes with her daily struggles by belting out heavy metal karaoke. That is, I mean, that's what it's been from season 1. There's been stronger seasons, and season 4, I think a lot of fans really didn't like. So then we get this one, which is meant to wrap up everything. And for me, it did. But for other people, they can't see how this is a thing that's been wrapped up at all. And I think I would say that this is like a slice of life. It just basically sets up what they're going to do for the rest of their life. It's not like suddenly everything stops. It just means this is where those characters are now, and that's what they're going to do. So for me, it wrapped up everything, where those characters are going to be now. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It had two halves. The first half was Haida, and he doesn't have a job anymore, so he ends up in an internet cafe, and you get to see a bit of the, I guess, a class of people in Japan that have been left. And I was reading one of the comments, and someone said this is a real thing. There is a class of people that kind of work from these internet cafes and these little booths, or basically just live their lives because you can rent it out cheaply for like 16 hours in space, pay a small amount of money, look for jobs, or do your job from the internet cafe, and then just have nowhere to live. Like, that's your resident, because it's too expensive to live elsewhere. So you go and eat, you go for a walk, you come back, there's toilets, you wash at the basin or whatever, and that's kind of how you do it. And so they showed a sort of lifestyle that Haida had to live for a while, and there's a couple of characters that he meets there that are fantastic. Love them, thought they were great. And then there's a second half where you get to see Haida's family, who are in the political game, and that takes on Retsuko, who is our main protagonist really, with the death metal singing, and that it goes into like the political route. So we have the story that for both their stories, they're in a relationship together finally after so many seasons, and then it comes together at the head. So you have a nice arc, like a main story within there, and you have like some moral stuff. It gets deeper, saying something. You still have that death metal that I love, but she doesn't just use it now. She's grown as a character, where she something used to make her angry. Suddenly it would cut to her being in the karaoke bar doing the roar, which was hilarious. But now she uses it for, like, on purpose. She needs to teach somebody something about life, or give an outlet to something. Now she does that, and I loved it. It was just still there, still great. Sad, it's like a bittersweet series because it's the last one, but at the same time, they're not just kind of going to continue stringing along. How many animations or series get 5 seasons? So,
yeah. Well, how is the animation? Is it
weird? It's great. I mean, it's fine, but if you've seen any of the images, it's unusual.
Okay.
It's cute looking, thick lines on the character drawing, but bright colors. Love all of the characters. I think everybody has their favorite. So Retsuko is voiced by 2 people. So Erica Mendez, who voices Retsuko. Excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you. Can we go for a third? Third? Triple?
No, we're good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Jason Boaz, who plays death metal Retsuko, which is hilarious. I like that because you have to have that voice, yeah. There's also another voice actor. I guess just depends. They change sometimes. Caleb, I don't know who that is, but I know a number of the voice actors who have been in other things. And this is the English as well. So because it's one of those few animes that I've watched, but in English that just worked for the animation. I know the original is great as well, and the voice actors there are excellent. But it's one that I didn't mind listening to in the dub because I thought they did a really good job with it.
Nice. Captured all the appropriate emotion.
Exactly. It's not just an add-on like they've been reading sheets. It's like they were called in to do it for the animation sort of thing.
That makes all the difference. To have, which is why a lot of the time I don't watch the dub because it, especially in live action, it's like you didn't even match the energy. It's very
never mind
weird.
The actual mouth movements.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, and that's a beauty of a lot of the animation is that it doesn't always match up anyway. You know what I mean? So that's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Do you have anything else on your list?
No.
Okay. Well, hey, we thank you for joining us this week. Don't forget to leave us the comments about the movie quiz, your D&D character and their strange, perhaps, job or ability. And then, always tweet at us, Best We Watched, on the Twitter. You can check out our Patreon. We have a bunch of different opportunities there. And for just a few dollars a month, you can help support this podcast and offset the cost of the production. We have our individual YouTube channels, which you are watching on at least one of them. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday, me, Chris, with Movies and Munchies. If you're watching on one, consider giving a sub to the other and a like. That would be awesome to spread the wealth between the both of us. Also, check out the podcast. We're going to dive into another movie review, something that we have not seen in quite a while. I don't think I'd seen it since it first came out.
Wow.
I almost wasn't sure if I had seen it. That's how long it's been. But then we also talk about our some entertainment news and just some of the new releases coming up in the next week that are either bubbling up to the top or that, like this week, there's a lot more coming out again. So we invite you to check out that. Basically, anywhere you listen to podcasts, we are on there. If you just search the best thing we watched this week, we should come up. And as a favor, if you do head over there and listen to the podcast, please rate and review us as well, because that is huge. With that, I think that's everything. We'll see you next week. All right, take care.